Yo guys, what is up? Moxsy, another episode of Finding Your Vault Hunter, the multi-part series brought to you by 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐃𝐄𝐒 and 𝐁𝐎𝐑𝐃𝐄𝐒, where I, Moxsy, break down all of the different Vault Hunters in all of the Borderlands games. In today's episode, we're going to be covering Moze and Zane from Borderlands 3. In the last episode, episode 4, we talked in depth about Flak and Amara. If you haven't seen that episode, it's really great. We talked extensively about what makes those characters so good, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about Zane and Moze, two characters that I hold very near and dear to my heart, why you might want to play them, and what playstyles they mesh well with. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. So to start us off, we're going to be talking about Moze. Now, Moze is the Gunner class, and she's a bit of an evolution from characters like Roland and Axton, where they had turrets that would be deployed, that would be stationary, and would shoot at enemies. Moze brings something entirely new to the table in the form of Iron Bear. Now, Iron Bear is a mech that can be autonomous. It can fight by itself alongside you, or you can actually get into Iron Bear the mech and pilot it. And the way that Moze is different than all the other Vault Hunters is all the other Vault Hunters have different action skills, and Moze has one action skill, but her action skills and her action skill augments change the way that Iron Bear works. You can change the guns on it to be miniguns or cryo miniguns or fire miniguns, lasers, fire lasers, nukes, missiles, grenade pods, whatever you want. The mech is fully customizable, and you can have the Iron Bear mech where you have the option of jumping in and piloting it, or you can also go for the fully autonomous Iron Cub. Iron Cub is a smaller version of Iron Bear where you don't need to worry about piloting it at all. It will just fight alongside you and packs a very similar punch to the Iron Bear. Now, firing your gun infinitely and never having to reload sounds fun to you. Moze might be your character. Moze specializes in ammo regen, high fire rates, and splash damage, and then she's also got a mix of action skill damage for her Iron Bear and also shield skills so that she can stay alive by buffing her shield up as much as possible. Moze's signature skills in her Demolition Woman skill tree are Torg Cross Promotion, which allows all of your splash damage a chance to double in size and increases the damage that you deal with splash damage weapons. Moze synergizes really well with splash damage weapons. She's also got Fire in the Skagden, which allows all of your splash damage that you're dealing to deal bonus incendiary damage, and also Short Fuse allows whenever you deal gun damage, there's a chance to do an explosion. So as you can see, you've got all of this splash damage explosions dealing incendiary damage, and this allows her to hit really hard. In addition, the blue tree to synergize with that is all about explosive damage with her Iron Bear, capping off with the Hammer Down Protocol, which allows Iron Bear to launch 2 nukes at enemies. Moze's Shield of Retribution skill tree is all about shield skills. She's got Thin Red Line, which is actually going to reduce your health but give you more shield for the amount of health that you're reserving. And then you've got skills like Phalanx Doctrine, which allow you to stack up, increasing max shield capacity as you kill enemies, and Desperate Measures, which is the lower your health is, the more gun damage you're going to deal. And Tenacious Defense is the capstone, which allows whenever your shield to break, whenever it does break, you're going to get your shield right back, and then you're going to get even more damage to deal to enemies. Moze's Bottomless Mags tree is all about bottomless mags. You're going to get tons of fire rate, increased incendiary damage, increased mag size, and the Capstone Forge allows Moze to constantly regenerate ammo so she can keep firing and never having to reload, and Some for the Road allows Moze to jump out of her mech and gain infinite ammo so she can just fire at everything. Lastly, Moze's Purple Tree Bear Mother is all about keeping up your Iron Cub or your Iron Bear as often as possible. You've got Running on Fumes. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear ignites an enemy, Iron Bear does not consume fuel for a short time, and if you did not know, Iron Bear, while you're piloting it, or Iron Cub, when they're shooting their guns, they're going to be consuming fuel. So whenever you're dealing fire damage, you have a chance to not consume fuel. On top of that, you can go Never Gonna Give You Up. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear applies a status effect to an enemy, Iron Bear is actually going to gain fuel. So you're going to be keeping Iron Bear or Iron Cub topped off so that they can stay on the battlefield for longer. And she's got a lot of synergistic skills in this tree with your Iron Bear, such as really big guns to just make it deal more damage. All in all, Moze is just an absolute powerhouse of a class. If you really want to focus on shooting your guns as much as possible, Moze is great for that, and you can pair that with Iron Cub so that you don't have to jump into the Iron Bear. Or if you want to get out of jail free card, you're taking too much damage, you can pop into Iron Bear. Now enemies can't kill you and you can retaliate at them with nukes. It's a really fun class and I've spent so many hours playing her. Next up, we get to talk about Zane. Now, Zane meshes really well with what I'm looking for in a character because I love movement speed. I love being quick. I love being agile. And Zane really synergizes with this kind of playstyle. With Zane, you're incentivized to stay on the run, but you're also going to be dealing more damage while you're moving. And the faster you're moving, the more damage you're going to be dealing. And Zane can really focus on the synergy, getting crazy speeds to deal crazy damage. Now, what sets Zane really apart from any of the other Vault Hunters that we've ever seen is Zane is able to use 2 action skills at a time. You get to pick from 2 different action skills. You can use any combo of them, and you can use the augments to augment those action skills to have them both deployed at the same time. Think how Salvador could dual wield guns, Zane can dual wield action skills. Zane also has a ton of synergies with kill skills, which we see in his Hitman tree. In the Hitman tree, when you kill an enemy, you can get increased movement speed, lifesteal, increased fire rate, increased projectiles fired, increase the duration of your action skills, and all of these things really get tied together by Zane's skill, Seeing Red. Now, kill skills are really powerful because whenever you kill an enemy, you're going to get all of these effects. However, if you're fighting one-on-one with a boss and there's no enemies to kill around the boss, you're not going to get any of these benefits. However, Zane's Seeing Red skill is amazingly designed in that whenever you activate your action skill, which you have a ton of, you're going to be able to activate all of your kill skills. So you pop one of your action skills, whether it be the shoulder-mounted cannon or the 𝐏𝐃𝐄𝐑𝐃𝐄e, and now you're going to have a ton of these damage bonuses. Zane's double agent skill tree is his clone skill tree, which not only has a lot of abilities for your clone to deal more damage, but for also you to deal more damage, particularly while your clone is up. We've got things like Trick of the Light that you deal bonus cryo damage to enemies that aren't targeting you, aka they're going to be targeting your clone. And you can use the Which One's Real skill to constantly swap places with your clone. If damage is coming at you, you can swap places with your clone, and enemies, when you do this, are going to get taunted so that they're firing at your clone. The Boom Enhance skill is going to allow you to summon your 𝐷𝐃𝐄𝐑𝐃𝐄e at the cost of grenades, which Zane can't throw when you're using 2 action skills. And the more grenades that the 𝐷𝐃𝐄𝐑𝐃𝐄e is going to consume when it's summoned, it's going to deal more damage. And then Zane's double barrel skill, which we talked about earlier, gives Zane clone the gun that you're using, which is just incredibly powerful. Zane's undercover skill tree is really focused on shield skills and also has some synergies with cryo damage. Now, one of the strongest synergies here is the 𝐏𝐻𝐾𝐿 skill. This reads whenever Zane freezes an enemy, his shields instantly begin recharging. If Zane's shields are already full, he regenerates health for a few seconds, and if Zane's health is already full, his action skill cooldowns and durations are immediately reset. Remember that Zane has a ton of synergies with popping his action skill, and the ability to get them back instantly if your shield and health are full is incredible. Now, having your shields and health in full would be pretty difficult if you didn't have the barrier skill and all of these shield skills that pair with the barrier. Barrier has an augment called All-Rounder, which allows the barrier that is just protecting your front to now all of a sudden be a dome covering all damage from all angles, which allows you to use a cryo weapon with the All-Rounder so that you're not taking very much damage and you're constantly going to be freezing enemies with your cryo weapons and your cryo skills, so that you're constantly getting your action skills back. One of my favorite synergies on Zane is with his anti-freeze class mod. Now, this reads, while sliding or airborne, Zane gains plus 40% weapon damage and 20% damage reduction, and while slowed, Zane gains 100% movement speed. This allows us to constantly be moving to deal even more damage, and this class mod also specs into Zane's skill, Violent Momentum. Zane's gun damage is increased while moving. The quicker he moves, the greater the gun damage bonus. This is going to give us a ridiculous amount of gun damage, and then we can pair that with one of the artifacts called the Toboggan. The Toboggan is going to give us a 100% increased slide speed, damage reduction while we're sliding, and a 100% amp damage whenever we're sliding. What this leads to is you're going to want to slide, which is going to give you a ton of movement speed. It's going to give you an amp shot, and then if you shoot at the apex of your slide, you're going to deal the most amount of possible damage, capping out at around like 1600% increased gun damage. This pairs really well with rocket launchers, and you can just go around sliding around as Zane, dealing massive amounts of rocket launcher damage to enemies. Now, that sounds a little bit scary, shooting rockets while sliding at maximum movement speed. However, Zane also has a skill called Duct Tape Mod. This reads: the first shot fired from Zane's gun has a chance to also fire a grenade. This skill has a short cooldown. Additionally, Zane gains immunity from his own guns and grenades. Now we can slide around at max speed, shooting these massive rocket launchers everywhere, and we don't have to worry about killing ourselves because we have immunity to our own guns. This is just such a fun playstyle, and part of the reason I have so much playtime on Zane. If you like always being on the move and running directly into enemy fire, Zane is going to be the character for you. He plays a bit similar to Wilhelm or Jack combined from the pre-sequel, but brings his own twist to the table and is incredibly fun and satisfying to play. Guys, that is going to do it for episode 5 of Finding Your Vault Hunter. I hope you found this video informative as we broke down the different Vault Hunters and what they're good at and what kind of playstyles they synergize with. You really just can't go wrong in Borderlands 3. It's part of the reason I have so many hours in the game is because all of the characters are so fun. They all do something unique, and there's so many different ways to play all of these characters. Yes, they have defined skills. However, the mix of guns, gears, class mods, grenades allow you to really come up with your own playstyle that you want to use on these characters. So yeah, guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.